Tonight, the Prime Minister's plea for unity in the face of a tariff threat. A rare closed-door meeting with opposition leaders on Parliament Hill.
Don't play into Trump's narrative.
And Trump's latest nod to Canada after reports he joked this country could be the next U.S. state. An Alberta man on the run accused of a bizarre arson extortion plot.
As the facts revealed themselves, it just got weirder and weirder.
2 homes and a car destroyed. Neighbors warned they'd be next if they didn't pay up in Bitcoin. Intimidation, harassment, and threats of violence.
Off with your head and hung from the gates. Burn in hell.
The escalation of abuse targeting MPs.
This is absolutely unprecedented.
We break down what is fueling the anger and the growing challenge of protecting politicians.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. A signal tonight of just how seriously Canadian politicians are taking Donald Trump's threat of a 25% tariff on Canadian goods in a rare move, a rare meeting today on Parliament Hill. For about an hour, the Prime Minister sat down with opposition leaders to talk behind closed doors about his weekend trip to Mar-a-Lago and his chat with Trump himself. So the Liberals are pushing a Team Canada response and also hinting at more funding to address the root of Trump's frustration, border security. Kate McKenna with opposition reaction on the way out.
An unusual step in the face of an unpredictable situation.
It's a good meeting.
Behind closed doors, political rivals sat at the same table, hashing out Canada's response to Donald Trump's tariff threat.
I made the point that these kinds of actions, were they ever to go ahead, would be damaging to the United States just as they would be to Canada.
I want to see an all-hands-on-deck approach to make sure that we are fighting to protect Canadian interests.
Trump vows to slap Canadian and Mexican goods with a 25% import tax unless governments stop the flow of migrants and fentanyl across borders. If Trump follows through, it risks plunging Canada into a recession. The Prime Minister appealed to opposition leaders to work together and not repeat Trump's border criticisms.
We were reminded, please, do not say things that aren't true. Don't play into Trump's narrative.
I'm trying not to transform this situation into a partisan fight.
But after the meeting, for some, the gloves came off again.
Right now, we're going into this problem in a state of weakness. The Prime Minister has broken our immigration system, broken our bank, broken our borders.
Pierre Poilievre did not give that impression that he had this desire to protect Canadian jobs. For him, he was still trying to score political points, even when there's no cameras.
The Prime Minister also filled the opposition leaders in on his recent meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Earlier, the Public Safety Minister brushed off a comment Trump reportedly made, saying Canada could become the 51st American state.
The fact that there's a warm, cordial relationship between the two leaders and the president is able to joke like that, for us was a positive thing.
Less clear whether this too is a joke. This image posted online Tuesday by Trump without any context. Meanwhile, Manitoba is opening a trade office in Washington, and the Premier says he's hiring someone who can connect to the president-elect.
We need folks who are, dare I say it, a little Trumpy.
Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc also committed to bolstering border security between now and Trump's inauguration. He hasn't shared what that will look like, but it will probably require legislation, and LeBlanc told opposition leaders he'll need some help getting that through the House of Commons.
I bet. Kate, what other asks did the Prime Minister make of the opposition leaders?
A senior government official says he tried to impress how serious this issue is and asked them to reach out to contacts in the United States to help deliver the Canadian message to U.S. officials. It's a similar message to what Justin Trudeau told the premiers in a meeting last Wednesday, that Canada is best served by a united front.
All right, Kate McKenna in Ottawa. An Alberta man is on the run tonight, accused of lighting damaging fires in Edmonton and Calgary, then demanding money from people who live nearby. Julia Wong first broke this story and tells us now about the search for the suspect and the fears he could strike again.
It's a gut punch for Dustin Hiddle to see his Calgary house like this. 2 weeks ago, he woke up to a strange sound.
I walked towards the front of the house. I lifted one of the blinds, and as I did that, the window next to me cracked, and then smoke and fire literally started rolling into the house. Very thick smoke.
The fire was deliberate, police say. Hiddle's neighbors found handwritten notes telling them to pay up in Bitcoin, an apparent extortion attempt.
We think it was a random, and likely, I'm sure the offenders are hoping, they send so many of these letters or pamphlets to people that they'll likely get a small percentage who may respond and send money.
Calgary police have issued an arrest warrant for 21-year-old Finbar Hughes. Now, Edmonton police say he's wanted also in connection to 3 other suspicious fires in that city. In one case, neighbors received notes demanding $1,000 in Bitcoin, or they would suffer the same fate. Between the 2 cities, Hughes is facing a total of 10 counts of arson, extortion, and possession of an incendiary device.
We talked to several neighbors of one of the fires. No one wanted to speak on camera. They say they're relieved there's a suspect, but say they're still feeling jittery about their safety.
This retired police inspector says it's worrying the suspect is on the run.
Is he going to start to do it again? Is this a potential for him to go and, knowing he's wanted, is this an opportunity where he's going to up the ante?
As for Hiddle, he wants to see an arrest, especially after Calgary police say more threatening notes were sent out.
People in this street are terrified.
But hopeful they will soon feel safe at home once again. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
Police in Vancouver are searching for a suspect after another random attack in the city's downtown core. Investigators released this disturbing video of the unprovoked assault. You can see a man sucker punch a passing stranger in the face, knocking him to the ground. Police are concerned he could do it again.
Given this random level of violence on a complete stranger, we have very serious concerns for public safety.
So this attack comes nearly 3 months after Vancouver police laid charges in a separate random assault case, which left one man dead and another man's hand severed. Pressure is building in South Korea tonight. The country was upended for hours after the president declared martial law, sparking an intense backlash that then forced him to quickly call it off. Chris Reyes shows us the anger he sparked.
A night of chaos in South Korea's capital of Seoul as the military rushed the country's parliamentary building, blocking lawmakers from getting inside. The clash causing considerable damage. The turmoil triggered by South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol, who declared martial law, accusing his adversaries of inciting rebellion and sympathizing with North Korea. On the streets, protesters chanted "Dismiss martial law" as helicopters circled overhead. The crisis put a spotlight on the growing political struggle between the president's ruling party and the opposition Democratic Party that controls parliament. An emergency session was quickly convened to vote down the declaration. Hours later, the president backed down, announcing he was lifting martial law.
A sigh of relief for everybody around the world as well who cares about Korea, but we will need to see what happens next. It's difficult to imagine a President Yoon, who was already deeply unpopular, to be able to survive this political crisis.
Yoon has battled with the majority opposition since his election in 2022. His approval ratings hitting its lowest point this year, with protesters calling for his resignation. Among their complaints, that his policies favor the elite.
Politics are very personal in Korea. Party politics are important, but individual party leadership even more so. There's always a bit of steam in Korean politics. This time the kettle's boiled over.
A country left to pick up the pieces after a night of chaos. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
The ceasefire in the Middle East is holding, but only just. Both Israel and Hezbollah claim they're firing, but in self-defense. Senior international correspondent Margaret Evans is in southern Lebanon, where residents have returned eager to rebuild.
Nabatea after the storm. The level of destruction so colossal, it seems to dwarf humanity. Much of the city uninhabitable. But in the short time since the ceasefire took hold, residents are returning, daring to look. Hassan Sadek has brought his father to see their home, the house they were both raised in, reduced to a pile of concrete.
For him, it has a very symbolic meaning. So it's just not stones and materials. It's more than that.
Nabatea was the hardest hit city in southern Lebanon during the Israeli air campaign. It lies in the Shia heartland, Hezbollah territory. But not everyone supports the militant group, which is also a social and political movement. Ali Yunus owns a medical supply shop. Eager to fix what he can, despite ceasefire violations he blames on Israel.
They make blow here, there, everywhere here yesterday, after they say they stopped the war.
Lebanon accuses Israel of more than 50 violations. Israel says Hezbollah operatives are breaking the truce, remaining close to the Israeli border. For Ali Yunus, rebuilding is still the only option.
They have to believe Lebanon will not die. We have to live.
How and with whose help is another question. There are staggering estimates of a $12 billion price tag to rebuild, with Lebanon on the brink of economic collapse even before the war. But there is still here community.
That's when you know that the precious things in life, is your family and loved ones. If they're safe, then you can overcome anything, no matter what happens.
Someone to hold on to when the walls come tumbling down. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Nabatea.
A Canadian is among 3 climbers missing tonight after planning to scale New Zealand's highest peak. The 3 set out to summit Mount Cook Saturday morning, but then missed their flight out on Monday. Crews located some of the climbers' possessions, but weather conditions are preventing any further searches until Thursday. Well, Air Canada is rolling out facial recognition technology it says will help passengers board planes more quickly. That means no showing your ID at the gate. Georgie Smythe on how it works and the privacy questions this is raising.
Some travellers at Vancouver's International Airport now have a new way to board: facial recognition.
Follow the steps to create your digital profile.
Air Canada is pitching the change as a quicker way to get from the gate to your seat on the plane. Passengers must opt in to skip the step of an agent checking photo ID.
It's a great program because it takes a lot of time to remove your passport or, take out your license.
Not really impressed by that. I'd rather show my ID.
But I think in the long run, it will save passengers a little bit of time.
Vancouver is a Canadian first, and other airports will soon follow.
I'll take your ID. You're just going to look straight at the camera for me, please.
But the technology is used in other countries. The airline says personal information will be encrypted and deleted within 36 hours. Air Canada wouldn't provide an interview, but in an email said data given to Air Canada via digital ID is only used to satisfy the government requirement to confirm ID prior to boarding. The data is not used for any other purpose. But critics question the delay in deleting data.
I'm just questioning Air Canada, why 36 hours? And so my view is that as soon as I board the airplane, don't need it anymore. I've gone through that security process.
Others say Canadians are being asked to provide too much personal data too often.
We all have to ask ourselves, at what point have we given away too much? When we're sharing our information with companies like Air Canada, we really are risking our privacy.
Air Canada stresses this new way to board is optional for passengers. To use it, people simply need to download the Air Canada app, scan their passport and take a selfie, then simply show up at the airport. Georgie Smythe, CBC News, Vancouver.
Another important produce recall to tell you about. Taylor Fresh Foods is recalling its sweet kale chopped salad kit due to possible salmonella contamination. This applies to 340-gram bags with a best before date of December the 6th. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says there have been no reported illnesses. Well, this is Giving Tuesday, usually a major fundraising day for charities, and many say they could really use a boost. As Yvette Brand explains, they say the Canada Post strike is hurting donations.
This time of year, charities are looking for donations, and many say the postal strike is hitting them hard.
Yeah, it's affecting us a lot. Some people just brought us like checks, so that's good.
In BC, the Surrey Food Bank relies on mail to reach out to potential donors.
Nothing fully replaces that direct mail, old-fashioned piece of paper package that I was going to send out to about 4,000 donors, asking them to support what we're doing.
Despite prizes that include luxury condos and houses, this hospital foundation lottery expects to lose $1 million in donations.
We're about 15% down over the last couple of years, and directly related to the postal strike.
Registered charities are already struggling. A lot of people don't have extra after paying for the basics like food and rent.
The ongoing labor dispute is really like the nightmare before Christmas for many organizations.
The number of Canadians who give to registered charities has been dropping for years, from 23% in 2010 to 17% in 2021. And the amount of money they're giving is also falling. The strike has also halted the usual delivery of letters to Santa, but some workers are still collecting them, so kids shouldn't worry, according to the union shop steward on this picket line.
They're writing really heart-wrenching letters, and they come from all over the world.
She says she's sorry for the collateral damage of the strike, which is now in its third week. Charities, meanwhile, are urging Canadians to keep those who are struggling in mind and find alternative ways to give. Yvette Brand, CBC News, Vancouver.
There is concern tonight about the growing use of adult skincare products by children.
We do know that they are going to cause, inflammation, redness, scaling.
Why experts say it could harm their young skin. Next. Plus, rising hatred and violence against Canadian politicians.
Dearest Pam, I hope and pray to God that you will die a horrible, painful death, off with your head and hung from the gates.
Ioana Remiliotis on the troubling trend that's reached a boiling point. And later, a strange sight on a trip to Tim's.
I bought some Timbits, sometimes some donuts, some bread.
The Alberta woman who took her steer to the drive-thru. We're back in 2.
Oh, man. Holy hell. Wow.
What an incredibly close call for the driver of that transport truck in Erie, Pennsylvania. It got stuck in the snow trying to cross the tracks Monday, and well, you saw the results. The driver, though, managed to get out of the cab just before impact and was uninjured.
Wow.
There's a new warning tonight about adult skincare products being used by children. A group of Quebec chemists say the ingredients could be harmful for young skin. Vanessa Lee now with what parents should know about the social media-inspired trend.
Are these products good for your age?
Swayed by videos posted by beauty influencers on social media, many tweens and teens across the country are obsessed with skincare.
This moisturizer makes me feel very hydrated.
Including 12-year-old Lauren from Toronto.
I want to keep my skin healthy because I break out sometimes and I have acne.
Oh my God, these look like proper tanning drops.
Quebec's Order of Chemists is concerned about the viral trends.
Let's talk about how I just had a chat with a 9-year-old who just bought these.
It says kids are being enticed to use products meant for adults, not suitable for young skin.
We needed to raise a flag on the different exfoliants and anti-aging creams that some kids as young as 5 years old go out and buy in different stores.
Anti-aging creams often contain retinol, which dermatologists say is unnecessary for those who haven't reached their 20s, when collagen begins to decrease. They also point to chemical exfoliants containing alpha-hydroxy acids and beta-hydroxy acids being irritating by nature and can be harsh on sensitive faces.
We do know that they are going to cause, inflammation, redness, scaling. This is something that can jeopardize the natural skin barriers for which you need, regular creams and moisturizers.
In Sweden, a major pharmacy chain has banned children under 15 from buying products with those active ingredients, saying using advanced skincare that, for example, aims to reduce wrinkles and get a more even skin tone is not something a child needs. So what should a skincare routine look like for tweens and teens? Dr. Ivan Litvinov says to keep it simple.
We recommend using a simple, fragrance-free moisturizer and a sunscreen.
Hey guys, get ready.
Experts say they're still studying the long-term effects as they go up against influencers with their message, less is more. Vanessa Lee, CBC News, Montreal.
A Toronto man is making a name for himself in the NBA, but it's not for his skills on the court.
When people know he's in town or when I'm seeing him, everybody wants to get a cut. So he definitely has a good reputation around the league.
Well, he's in demand from some of the game's biggest stars. Plus, in an era of highly polarized politics, escalating violence against politicians.
I've received death threats online. My family has been protested in our home. And last spring, I was spit on.
The calls for greater security with an election on the horizon.
What we need is to be able to be constantly vigilant and constantly up to date.
The National breaks down the story shaping our world. Next. So that's the cast of the hit musical Come From Away performing a pop-up show at Toronto's Union Station, all in an effort to help raise money for charity on this Giving Tuesday. Well, a Canadian is making waves in the NBA, not on the court, but with his scissors and razor. He's become the go-to barber for basketball stars around the world. Jamie Strachan brings us his story.
In a luxury hotel suite high above the Toronto skyline, Taryn Damrett sets out his tools.
You don't know what poutine is?
What is it?
His client, Indiana Pacers all-star Tyrese Halliburton.
I've been told that I have an elite lineup, one of the best lineups in the league, and that comes from this guy. So, when people know he's in town or when I'm seeing him, everybody wants to get a cut.
If cutting hair was a sport, Damrett's game has come a long way in a short time.
I didn't know what I was doing in terms of work and whatnot, and then a buddy of mine that was actually a barber growing up, he was like, why don't you start cutting hair?
Well, he's a complete guard. He grew up with a number of future NBAers in suburban Toronto, including Kale Alexander Walker. Those friends became clients, the job taking him around the league, even to the Olympics.
Because it's word of mouth, like if you do a good job, then the next person wants a haircut, and then it just kind of keeps going.
For players, how they look is almost as important as how they play. Their hairstyle and clothing choices transcend far beyond the arena.
My haircut, my style, all those things play into who I am as a human being, and that goes into how I play. So I feel like they're all really connected.
Damrett's work is plastered all over social media, its reach extending into barbershops around the world.
And make sure that you're combing the hair back down.
At Carlos Bonifaz's shop, Damrett inspires young clients.
The influence that these NBA players have, these artists have, is so important because they're literally these kids come in and they're foaming over them and they're like, I want to look like this.
I'm not really a Raptors fan, so.
Next stop for Damrett, LA, to meet one of the league's best, Anthony Edwards, buzzing, clipping, and trimming his way to the top of his profession. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. Canadian politicians confronted by hateful rhetoric and the menace of violence.
I don't think we can wait until someone is injured or killed because of this kind of anger.
The numbers spiking in just a few short years, driven by a new distrust.
People are getting really fed up, so it is righteous anger.
But what's at stake when anger is used to justify physical threats? Ioana Remiliotis met with lawmakers who fear for their safety, and she breaks down the source of this growing concern and a warning: there is strong language some may find disturbing.
You deserve around-the-clock harassment until you either end yourself or get the fuck out of our country, you traitor pig! You are a fucking I'm coming after you guys.
I don't think we can wait until someone is injured or killed because of this kind of anger.
The threats are vile and often violent.
What concerns me is the growing extremism in the country.
Politicians are under increasing attack.
So this is where it happened?
Yeah, he walked right up and spit on me. I was concerned that he might have had a weapon.
This is absolutely unprecedented.
Where the rubber hits the road on this, our law enforcement needs to have more tools.
Defend our human rights.
What's behind the rising vitriol?
People are really stressed out and reaching their breaking point.
And what does it mean for all Canadians?
I think Canadians deserve to know what's going on.
There is a very concerted effort to try and erode our democracy.
These are scary times on Parliament Hill. Intimidation and threats of violence against the Prime Minister and politicians from all parties have become alarmingly routine. Harassment of members of Parliament is up nearly 800% in the last 5 years. It's happening here, at their constituency offices, even their homes. And with an election looming, tensions are rising.
Dearest Pam, I hope and pray to God that you will die a horrible, painful death, off with your head and hung from the gates. Burn in hell. C-word.
That's hard to hear. I can't imagine what it's like for you.
I don't understand how people think it's okay to speak to people like that. I never, in my entire life, had anyone ever use that C-word. And as a politician, in the last 4 years or so, it's used all the time. All the time.
And Pam Demoff says it's getting worse.
Now people are sending an email and adding their name and business name onto it. I think people are emboldened.
As a female politician, Demoff is among the most targeted. The Liberal MP has received hundreds of hateful calls, emails, and direct messages, some threatening her with rape, and she's had multiple death threats too. We reached out to some of the people behind them. They didn't want to talk to us about it.
People have said, you're a politician, you need thick skin, but not for that kind of stuff. And that's why when people approach you in public or on the street and start yelling, it's scary. You get your back up and wonder if someone has a knife or a gun.
It's why Demoff doesn't post her itinerary in advance or take walk-ins at her constituency office anymore.
How do you feel about the fact that you've had to kind of restrict access to you?
I mean, I don't think it's good for democracy. It's separating us from people. We just don't have those same kind of interactions anymore.
For many, including the Prime Minister, the harassment has moved past messages to real life, like this incident where a man threw gravel at Trudeau. Racialized politicians, including NDP leader Jagmeet Singh,
you're a coward. You're not going to say it to my face.
are often singled out, and requests for protection have soared.
We are absolutely looking at everything.
Michelle Paradis is the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the RCMP's protective policing.
We've seen a 93% increase in calls for service for the RCMP for protection.
Is that unprecedented?
This is absolutely unprecedented.
Unprecedented, but the sentiment behind the escalating abuse has been building for a while. Experts say it's tied to distrust for authority that exploded during the pandemic. It was on full display at the 2022 convoy protest, as well as at demonstrations against vaccine mandates and other public safety measures. The rhetoric was polarizing then, and Paradis says it's only become more extreme.
It is not necessarily reaching the threshold of criminality, but it reaches the threshold of awful but lawful.
Awful but lawful. What does that mean?
It's the difference between I hope you get hit by a bus versus I'm going to run you over with a bus. Run you over with a bus, criminality, there it is, a threat. But it's that other piece, which absolutely has an effect on somebody.
So when you're getting these calls for protection, not all are meeting the criminal threshold, but they certainly fall into the category of intimidation or threat or just feeling unsafe?
Very much so. And I can tell you, if it is a direct threat, it's action immediately.
The RCMP won't say how many direct threats it has responded to or how many it's tracking, but police at every level are on higher alert. Public access is now restricted when the House is sitting after protesters yelled obscenities and at least one shoved an MP this fall. Ottawa's police force has a new protective unit in the works, and behind the scenes, the RCMP is knocking on the doors of people who've made threats.
Its behavioral experts are also watching for signs of escalation.
It sounds constant. You're constantly assessing an evolving threat.
Absolutely. And, you know, everybody will say to me, Michelle, what will help you sleep at night? And I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I'll be able to sleep at night. What we need is to be able to be constantly vigilant and constantly up to date.
There is a more combustible atmosphere.
Former Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino says he's always looking over his shoulder, and he has good reason to.
How has it affected you directly? What kind of instances have you gone through?
Well, I've been exposed to political violence in a number of different forms. I've received death threats online. My family has been protested in our home. And last spring, I was spit on by a protester on Spark Street at the base of this building right here.
It must feel, to a certain extent, that you're under siege.
There's definitely...
Mendicino is calling for protective zones around politicians and harsher penalties for those who cross them, especially since a man spit on his face last June.
You gotta have eyes in the back of your head now, for sure.
Parliamentary police officers were just behind those office doors.
All right, so here we are.
A stark reminder of how quickly an attack can happen and what's suddenly on the line.
So this is where it happened?
Yeah, I was standing right there. I was opening the door, and he walked right up and spit on me. I could see that he was coming up to me, and he was approaching at a fairly good clip, and I put my hand out.
Why did you shake his hand?
I was just trying to de-escalate the situation. I didn't want to exacerbate it, and I was concerned that he might have had a weapon or a gun. You know, in the moment, I think I was just trying to make sure I got home to see my wife and kids.
That video, including others of politicians being harassed, was posted on this YouTube channel. We reached out to the people behind this channel and to people who post similar content. They didn't respond to our emails. So we went back to Ottawa to hear from people who support those sites and to find out what they think about the harassment of politicians. Many here were at the convoy and still hold regular protests that they call freedom rallies.
My name is Brian Dirksen. I'm the trucker that never left.
A lot of harassment has been happening to politicians since the convoy, and I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
Well, a lot of it I don't like. I've been here for more than 1,000 days. I've been standing on these streets with a certain message, and I've had people yelling over my shoulders, and I'm like, God, please help me. You know, I mean, a lot of this nonsense, I don't like it, a lot of it. I'm against it.
Hi, how are you?
There's a range of people here with a range of grievances, from COVID vaccines to transgender care, immigration, and the economy. What they share is a deep distrust of government and mainstream media.
Y'all realize, you guys are going to prison, right? All CBC, CTV News will be held accountable for your corruption. Are you going to speak out? Are you going to tell the truth? Yes or no? That's all what I'm asking today.
What's the truth? What's the truth according to you?
Come on.
No one here says they've harassed politicians. Darlene Dornwood doesn't believe the abuse is even happening.
There's a lot of reports, death threats, rape threats against female politicians.
Is there? They're probably paying their own to do it to make us look bad, is what they do.
Do you think the threats are fake?
Well, I would believe some of them are.
So you think politicians are kind of orchestrating their own harassment?
Probably.
Howard Kwan says any harassment is justified.
I'll put it this way. Which came first? Angry Canadians or corrupt, incompetent, negligent politicians? People are getting really fed up. So it is righteous anger.
All of it is often around this kind of populist sentiment of, sinister elite, they're out to get us.
Amarnath Amarasingham is a researcher at Queen's University. He's been tracking a broader collapse of trust in authority and a rise in populist rhetoric. He says it's led to more extremist thinking.
Us versus them, elite versus the true people rhetoric that's also ramping up, which tends to be quite easily linked to conspiracy theories. If you believe that, we are the true representatives of Canada, or the true Canadians, or the true Americans, and everyone else is evil and elite, you have kind of, I would say, an inevitable rise in seeing politicians in particular as people who should not just be debated with, but attacked and threatened.
What you just said was all part of this crime against humanity.
Those voices, he said, may not always draw large crowds, but are increasingly normalized online and on alternative media sites catering to disaffected communities. The fear is that anger could intensify. Where do you think it could go?
Part of the problem with the megaphone getting bigger and the audience getting bigger for some of these individuals is that if more people are listening to hate speech, anti-immigrant sentiment, anti-Canadian content, or anti-Trudeau content, the more likely it is that as that pool of people who are listening gets bigger, one of those people will actually act on it.
All of us expect to be safe in our homes, in our neighborhoods, and in our communities. We should be able to expect the same kind of safety in our online communities.
The urgency to contain rising radicalization is prompting politicians to legislate solutions. The Liberals introduced an online harms bill, and Conservative MP Michelle Rempel-Garner introduced a private member's bill, informed by her own experience of being harassed.
How has your work changed because of the escalating abuse people like you are facing online and off?
You know, this is tough for me. This is literally probably the, 100th interview I've done over the course of my career where I've been asked that question. So I choose not to answer it at this point because for me, it's more about what we're going to do about it.
Her frustration is clear because, she says, politicians aren't the only ones targeted.
What the bill does is it essentially creates what we're calling a digital restraining order. So that if somebody is experiencing online abuse, that they can, through law enforcement, request a judge to essentially issue a stop contact order.
And that would send a warning signal.
It's that people feel that they can act with impunity, and that's what we have to stop.
But it's not stopping. Police say the threat is ever present.
I always say if the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up, there's a reason for that.
When the National continues, bracing for an election, a call for empathy.
I think that we'll get through it, but that takes a lot of love, care, and compassion.
And an emotional choice to walk away.
I'm going with my head held high.
Distrust of politicians is rising. So are threats and harassment. And police are worried an election call could make it worse.
There's never been a time in our history that we've interacted with our national security on as regular a basis as we are right now.
The RCMP is adding officers to its protective unit while it recruits more. And for the first time, the Mounties will offer all party leaders the same level of protection afforded to the Prime Minister.
We've never been this far advanced in our planning as this election cycle. So if it happens tomorrow, if it happens next spring, if it happens next fall or summer, we'll be ready for it.
But this election is different, right? The threat level, or the temperature at least, is so high.
The temperature is higher than we've seen, but we are absolutely going to adjust to be able to meet that temperature.
I will never allow folks that are spewing extremism and hate weaken my resolve. In fact, it reminds me why I have to fight harder.
Leah Gazan says she's ready to run again, even if it means facing more abuse. As an Indigenous woman, the NDP MP says she's no stranger to harassment, but this is next level.
I've had threats of physical violence, emails threatening gun violence. I've had to have RCMP detail. And just by who I am, it makes me a natural target. You know, constant, like sometimes swearing, screaming, yelling.
Just as you're walking into the house?
Yeah, blow horns, all of that.
Gazan has also been stalked, bricks thrown through her constituency office windows. But she sees hope in the support people show her. And remarkably, she has empathy for those who keep going after her.
I think people feel really disenfranchised, particularly since the pandemic. People really are struggling. Mental health is not great. I think all levels of government have failed to provide proper mental health supports for people. As members of Parliament, we have to be extra cautious, extra mindful that we use our positions in here to improve the material conditions for people, because when people are doing well, when you look after people, you build healthy communities.
That means seeing past the hate
and still living with it. But DeMoff is tired of being afraid. It's why, after nearly a decade in politics, she's not running again.
I love this job. I have been so blessed to do this job. I'm at peace with the decision I've made not to run again, and I know that it was the right decision for me. I mean, I could have just said, I'm leaving politics for personal reasons to spend more time with my family. But I think Canadians deserve to know what's going on. And I think the vast, vast majority of Canadians don't support this at all.
So I know that you have seen a lot of these messages in the course of the reporting. What is it about them that stands out?
The anger, for sure, the tone, the constant stream of hateful messages, the fact that people leave their names or send some of these notes from their work emails, that sense of boldness is really striking, and it's obviously why authorities are so concerned, because of the potential of where it can go.
And in terms of where it's directed, we're not just talking about federal politicians, obviously.
No, it's happening at all levels of government in every province. And, you know, Quebec, as a result, introduced a new law this past year where people who are found to be intimidating or harassing politicians face up to $1,500 in fines. And they did that because there's been an exodus of municipal politicians alone. More than 700 people have left public office in Quebec since 2021. And that's only counting municipal politicians. So you can imagine that number is much higher. And also think about the people who are just not entering politics because of it.
Because of this. Wow. Yeah. All right, Joanna, thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, an Alberta drive-thru gets a pretty curious customer.
I bought some Timbits and sometimes some donuts, some bread.
A bovine with a craving in our moment. That handsome fella right there, that is Magnum, a steer living in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, pictured here taking a long, hard look at a drive-thru menu. Frankly, we've all been there. How do you choose? So his owner knows he likes sweet treats, so she rode her beloved bovine to a local Tim Hortons to satisfy his cravings, and this uniquely Canadian spectacle is our moment.
Magnum is my steer. He has 8 years old now, and I have him since he was 1 week old. Animals are like men, they love food. You attract them by the belly, so yeah. All animals love sugars. I bought some Timbits and sometimes some donuts, some bread. I just order my stuff and go at the window, but this time I can't grab my stuff because he's too high, so I just told to the guy that keep my order, I will go inside and I will tie him to a pole. People come to take picture with him, pet that dog. Animals are a therapy, so when no one is there, your animals will always be there. Yeah, we just chill it.
So how did this report come to be? Well, apparently she originally bought Magnum to raise for beef, for food, and then kind of fell hard for him and formed a connection, and they've been pals ever since. From all of us at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.